नगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायामीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ वर्स 59 अनादाविह संसारे सञ्चिताः कर्मकोटयः अनेन विलयं यान्ति शुद्धो धर्मो विवर्धते। So Vidyaranya is now going to glorify samadhi as such, nirvikalpa samadhi, but which is nothing but an outcome of a nididhyasana. So he is going to glorify this nirvikalpaka samadhi, and as I told you, the verse number 59 to 62 is this glory of nirvikalpa samadhi. And as such, nirvikalpa samadhi is basically these all so many things he has now in that the glory of that samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, he has adopted from Yoga Shastra. And so he is talking because in Yoga Shastra it has been really glorified. So he has adopted here also. So we will have to interpret properly. Some of the things we will be able to accept it also, some of the things we will not be able to accept. And so what are the things acceptable to us, why it is acceptable to us, etc. Well, I will have to say about it. But before that, I will just give you a running meaning of verse 59 to 62 first. And what is that glorification of that samadhi, etc. also I will tell you. And then later we will analyze this glorification, how much is acceptable to us, how much is not acceptable to us. And that is, based on our own Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, etc. So let's go to verse number 59. What it says in the verse. So it says here, Anena karma kotayaha vilayam yanti. Anena, by this means by this samadhi, by this nirvikalpa samadhi, karma kotaya, crores of, koti means crore, karma kotaya, crores of karma, well, vilayam yanti. All crores of karma will get destroyed, dissolved. What type of karma? Iha samsare sanchitaha, well, which are accumulated. All these karmas which are accumulated here in many janmas. Samsara means here janma. Accumulated here in Iha means here in this Manushya Loka. Well, acquiring many Manushya janmas, jivas have acquired so many or accumulated many karmas. So when did this accumulation process has started? Well, anado, accumulated in the beginningless number of births, beginningless. So we cannot count when it started. If you come to know that, Jiva has really taken birth, Jiva has begun. Same thing. Jiva has begun or Jiva has taken a birth. Because it has begun means it has taken a birth. So then definitely Jiva is Satyam. Right? And the Karanam which gave the birth to Jiva also is Satyam. Both are Satyam. Why only Karyam is Satyam, we cannot say. Karanam also equally Satyam. And therefore then Jiva becomes Satyam. Then where is a question of Jiva's Mithyatvam, etc. Jiva is Satyam means definitely we will have to close the books and that's all. Because if Jiva is Satyam, in any case Jiva can never become a Brahman because it cannot be negated. Well, we say Jiva is Brahman only when the Jivatvam is negated. And if it is negated means it must be Mithya. Anything which is Satyam cannot be negated. And therefore, well, Anadau is a very important thing. Jiva has no beginning means Jiva has not really begun. Means if Jiva has not begun means Jiva is Mithya. That's how it is. Anything which has begun is Satyam. Anything which has begun means it has really taken birth. And that we cannot arrive at. And therefore, Anado means accumulated in beginningless number of births. Well, so the first glorification is told here. Well, iha samsare sanchitaha karma kotayaha anadau samsare sanchitaha anena samadhina vilayam yanti. That's the first glorification. That samadhi destroys all sanchita karmas. That's first glorification. Whether it is acceptable to us or not, that is a later question. First, let us go according to this glorification. Now, second glorification also has been told here. Shuddha dharmaha vivardate. Dharma means punya. Shuddha dharmaha means Shuddha punya. Well, definitely vivardate, increases. So, punya, why Shuddha punya? Why? Because basically, any punya karma, you definitely, if you do any punya karma, you get punya also and some of the papam also. Any kind of way. Even if you do puja, consider as a punya karma, but some mistake in chanting, some mistake in upachara, etc., will be there. Definitely, it will be there because we have a limited power, limited knowledge, and therefore that any punya karma also will definitely gives you punya. At the same time, some papam also will be, one definitely accrues this papam also. So here it says, well, by doing samadhi, definitely that's a pure punyam will increase, no papam at all. So Shuddha dharmaha vivardate, it increases. This is a second glorification of samadhi. Now let's go to verse number 60. There is the third thing will be told. I have told you I am giving you running meaning. So we may go a little faster, but later on I will explain you. Dharmamegam prahuhu samadhim yoga vittamaha varshatyesha yato dharma amritadhara sahasrashah. Now, he gives a third glorification here, and here Vidyaranya quotes a Yoga Shastra in support of this Samadhi, which increases Punyam. So, Samadhi increases Punyam, that's what he told in the verse number 59. For that, he is giving the Pramanam from Yoga Shastra. So, Yoga Vittamaha Ahuhu, this great yogis, Yoga Vittamaha, the greatest yogis tell this, what? Dharma megam imam samadhim dharma megam. This Nirvikalpa Samadhi is called Dharma Mega Samadhi in Yoga Shastra. This is a word purely from Yoga Shastra. We have not such a word in our Vedanta, Dharma Megam, etc. What does it mean? Megam means what? Megam means cloud, rain-bearing cloud. And what does rain-bearing cloud do? What does it give? Rain, water. So, just as the rain-bearing cloud gives lot of water to the people, same way Dharma Megam, Samadhi hi Dharma Megam. So, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is a Dharma Megam, is also a cloud which will downpour what? Which will definitely give you lot of Dharma, which will give you lot of Punyam. I mean in terms of not drizzle, etc. It's not like right now. So, we're drizzling. It's like a torrent, and that's how it is said also. So it has been told in the next line, Varshati Eshaha. Why do you call this Nirvikalpa Samadhi as a Dharma Mega, etc.? Because Eshaha Dharma Mega, Well, varshati. Yatah means yasmat, because Eshaha varshati, this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, well, showers what? Dharma amrita dharaha. Well, it showers dharma eva amrutam, dharma amrutam. It showers this nectar of punyam and dharaha, streams. So it showers the streams of this lot of punyam. Basically, it showers nectar of punyam and sahasrashaha. Sahasrashaha means plenty. So they call like raining like cats and dogs. So I think someone, I think Swamini here, she explained me that's an expression in raining cats and dogs, etc. Well, so that kind of a thing. So much. So now this Nirvikalpa Samadhi will shower you so much of punya. It will make you totally wet under the rain of this punya. This is just an expression in the Yoga Shastra for a Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Singing glorification. Now 61. Amuna vasana jale nishesham pravilapite samulonmulite punya papakhe karma sanchaye. Actually, this verse is grammatically incomplete, and so we should read the next verse also along with it, and then I will explain. Vakyam apratibaddham sat parokshavaභāsite karamalakavad bodham aparoksham prasuyate. So, amuna vasana jale nishesham pravilapite sati. So, amuna vasana, amuna, by that, means by that samadhi. So, amuna samadhina vasana jale nishesham pravilapite sati. So, let us make it this is Sati Saptami, let us make it into the first case. This is all in seventh case. Vasana jale pravilapite, all this seventh case, we will make it into a first case. So, amuna vasana jalaha nishesham pravilapitaha bhavati. So, amuna refers to this samadhi. So, samadhina, this is a kartari tritiya. So, by this samadhi, well, vasana jalam pravilapayati, vasana, nishesham pravilapayati. Vasana means viparita bhavana. So all our viparita bhavana, dehatma buddhi, etc., all our emotional issues, all this jalam, entire group of that viparya, viparita buddhi, viparita bhavana, pravilapayati. Pravilapayati means basically they are destroyed by this samadhi. So this samadhi dissolves all viparita bhavana. That is, and here for the viparita bhavana or viparya, they have used the word vasana. So that viparita bhavana or dehatma buddhi goes away along with this Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So this is also glorification, and this is a third glorification. So first two glorifications, what? Samadhi destroys all sanchita karma. I am going to analyze it. And second glorification is samadhi gives you so much of punya. It makes you totally wet with so much of punya. Nothing, and shuddha dharmaha, mean no trace of papam you will get. Nirvikalpa Samadhi will ultimately give you so much of punya. Third thing, samadhi dissolves all viparita bhavana, dehatma buddhi, etc. All emotional issues also will go away, etc. So these three benefits of this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, or glorification rather, has been shown. The fourth one has been told in also in the verse 61. Samula unmulite punya papakhe karma sanchaye. Now you see here there is no verb. That's how we have read the verse number 62. So then in verse number 62, vakyam apratibaddham bhavati, that much we can take. So samula unmulite karma sanchaye. So karma sanchaye punya papakhe Samula unmulite sati vakyam apratibaddham bhavati. This is a complete sentence. So what is that? So karma sanchaya. So punya papakya karma sanchaya samula unmulitam bhavati. All groups of karma sanchaya, sanchit karmas, all groups of karma which are on the form of what? Punya papakya, which can be called as a punyam and papam, consist of both, is a samula unmulite. It is totally that group of sanchita karma totally unmulitam, is uprooted, samula, mulena sahitam. So just think that this is a karma sanchaya is like a tree. So we have accumulated so much karma. It is sanchita karmas in terms of punya and papa, and that tree is totally uprooted with this nirvikalpa samadhi along with the root, right? Samula unmulitam means uprooting, and samula unmulitam, samula means mulena saha. So that tree is totally, it is uprooted along with the root. What is the root of this karma? You know very well, ajnanam. So along with the root, that is ignorance, it is uprooted. So it is destroyed. All the karmas, sanchita karmas, including punya papa, etc., gets destroyed along with the ignorance also. So samadhi, so that is what they say. Samadhi destroys all punya papa, all janmas. That's how sanchita. So samadhi destroys all punya papa along with the ajnana. This is fourth glorification. And fifth glorification is what? That is told in the verse number 62, which we have read also. Vakyam apratibaddham bhavati. Vakyam, mahavakyam. So mahavakyam apratibaddham bhavati. Apratibaddham means, well, without any obstacle. Pratibadha or pratibandha, same thing. Pratibandha means obstacle. So vakyam apratibaddham bhavati. So the mahavakya now has become free from all obstacles. Samadhi removes all obstacles. So mahavakya is capable of doing a job. What? So nirvikalpa samadhi, etc., basically removes this obstacle, and therefore mahavakya is capable of giving you aparoksha jnana. Mahavakya is aparoksha jnana. And so these are the 5 benefits of a nirvikalpa samadhi as per Yoga Shastra. Please understand, as per Yoga Shastra. What are that? First thing is samadhi destroy all sanchita karmas. Second thing is Shuddha Dharma Vivardate. Well, and so basically you get lot of punyas. And third thing is, the Samadhi definitely destroys all Viparita Bhavana, etc. And fourth benefit is Samadhi destroys all Punya Papa, Sanchita. But Swamiji, that has been told, yeah. But now he says there, along with the ignorance. Along with ignorance, all the karmas are destroyed. And fifth is, well, Samadhi removes all obstacles, and therefore the Mahavakya now becomes free from obstacles, and so Mahavakya is capable of giving you aparoksha jnana. These 5 benefits have been told, and Vidyaranya Swamiji here he quotes based on Yoga Shastra, this glorification. We are not told. In Vedanta you won't find such kind of a thing, but it has been there in Yoga Shastra. Since he has talked about Nididhyasanam, and in fact he has talked about Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, and fixing of the mind, entertaining the thought pertaining to the self and retaining the thought pertaining to the self, that is Dhyanam. And then Nididhyasanam also we have seen, in which all obstacles, all that Viparita Bhavana, etc. goes away. Even which can lead to Nirvikalpa Samadhi also. When the mind gets absorbed into the self, etc. and the thinking of the self, etc. And so all these things we have discussed as per Yoga Shastra. So now he is giving benefit of Nirvikalpa Samadhi also, glorification. And now we'll have to discuss. So this is just a running meaning of verse number 59 to 62, almost 62 part of that is left over, which I am covering also. So let us clarify now how much is acceptable to us and how much we are not able to accept. First thing, it says Samadhi destroys all sanchita karmas, right? That has been told in verse number 59. Karma kotayaha, vilayam yanti, etc. That has been told. That we can't accept because we don't say Samadhi destroys all karma, because Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. Bhagavan himself says Jnanagni. This knowledge destroys all karmas, that we have heard. Samadhi destroys all karmas, we have not heard. In Upanishad, in Bhagavad Gita, anywhere we have not found. And therefore, so Samadhi destroys sanchita karma, it has been told that that's a glorification. We call it as a arthavada. And such glorification can be done. That's allowed in Shastra. Even though it does not do, you glorify it. And in Bhagavad Gita you will find, I will tell you how Bhagavan has glorified actually. See, the way Yoga Shastra glorifies that, Nirvikalpa Samadhi destroys all karmas, sanchita karmas, which is not there actually. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has used such kind of a glorification, which is not possible as such. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Bhagavan says a little bit. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya. Asya dharmasya swalpam. I mean, a little bit of karma yoga also, removes. What? What it removes? Trayate. The person is protected. One who does a little bit of even karma yoga, mahato bhayat, he will be protected from the greatest fear. He gets moksha. Greatest fear is fear of the death. And so, even a little bit of karma yoga also if a person does, he will be made free from the fear of death. Means he gains moksha. How? Without jnanam, how moksha is possible? So, this is a arthavada. So that is allowed. So a glorification, is done even by Bhagavan. Same way Yoga Shastra does this kind of a glorification of a Samadhi, etc. That Samadhi removes all the karmas, destroys all the sanchit karmas, etc. Which is not the case, but such arthavada is allowed. So even if you see, if you read the Vishnu Sahasranama, if you at the end, after verse number 121 or something, you see the Falashruti. You will find that you should not do anything. You should not attend any Pancadasi class or any class. You really, you gain everything by chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. Falashruti. You read those 20 verses or something, I think 15 or 20 verses are there. Everything. If you do Shiva Mahimna Stotra, and lastly there also they have given Falashruti. And that Falashruti also like that you will be protected from this samsara, etc. You will gain moksha, etc. All this. So that is there. Just to make the person do that thing. That's all it is. So Arthavada means what? It is really not there. But you glorify so that the person will be prompted to do Nididhyasanam. Not prompted to do Nirvikalpa Samadhi, prompted to do Nididhyasana, which will culminate into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. We are not doing Nirvikalpa Samadhi like yogis passing through Ashtanga Yoga. But we should do Nididhyasana in order to gain Jnana Phalam. We have Jnanam and clear Jnanam through Shravanam and Mananam in a conscious mind. But the issues are there in subconscious mind. All the issues are there, all emotional issues are there. Dehatma Buddhi is very rooted. All this has to go. So one has to do Nididhyasana. And therefore, in order to prompt the person for doing Nididhyasanam, definitely, here they have done a glorification of Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nididhyasana, which will ultimately result into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So ultimately we are interested in Nididhyasana. Anyway, so here, Bhagavan says if the person who does a even little bit of karma yoga, he will gain moksha. So we can understand very well that that's correct. that karma yoga, if person starts, then he is put into the the path of moksha, definitely. And therefore the person gains a qualification and then gains moksha by gaining knowledge. So definitely jnanam removes your samsara suffering, etc. But if jnanam also, you require jnana yogyata, qualification, that karma yoga gives. And therefore Bhagavan glorifies karma yoga. The person, does even little bit of karma yoga, does something as a contributing in the society. And definitely considering as relating to the Ishvara, the entire creation is nothing but Ishvara, and so he is offering his own actions in form of contribution, that is offering to the Ishvara, then definitely that person will gain Chitta Shuddhi and gain Jnana Yogyata, then gain Jnanam, and gain Moksha. So that is how it has been glorified. If Karma Yoga is not there in life, Ragadvesha won't go, person will not get qualified, then person will not gain freedom also, because he is not qualified for the knowledge. So we have to understand all these things. So that is first thing we have analyzed and said that we are not able to accept it as it is. We are able to accept it as a Arthavada, glorification, just glorification. Really Samadhi does, destroys all karmas, that is not there. Now second thing, what it says, Shuddha Dharmaha Vivardate, right? Samadhi increases lot of punyam, free from any papam, only one gains lot of punyam. This also is Arthavada, cannot be taken literally, because punyam is a result of a karma, and Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, this Nirvikala Samadhi is basically Nididhyasanam only. So Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam do not come under karma, that is Jnana Yoga actually. And so in Sutra Bhashyam, in Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, in the first chapter, and in the fourth sutra, Bhashyakara takes pain to establish that Jnanam does not come under karma. Jnanam and karma are entirely different things. And therefore, this is Jnana Yoga. Nididhyasanam also is a part of Jnanam only, Shravana Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So that cannot give you punyam. So Shravana Mananam, Nididhyasanam are basically, Shravanam generates knowledge, Mananam makes it free from intellectual doubts, Nididhyasanam makes it free from other obstacles called Dehatma Buddhi, etc. So their result cannot be punyam. Gets lot of punyam, etc. That we cannot accept. No, but Shravanam produces punyam. We have heard. Yeah, okay. Shravanam produces because Shastra Shravana, and therefore they say it produces punyam. But even that punyam is ephemeral and limited. Here they say it is, they get tons and tons of punyam, etc. That is not the case, because it is not a karma. Anyway, now third thing, that Samadhi dissolves all Viparita Bhavana vasanas, vasana jalam. That is totally acceptable to us, totally, because practice of Nididhyasanam only removes Viparita Bhavana, Viparya, etc. And that is the purpose of the Nididhyasanam. And so Vasana Jalam Apagacchati, that the entire this group of Dehatma Buddhi and other Viparita Bhavanas, etc. goes away. We accept it. So Viparita Bhavana alone is that Pratibandha, and that is the obstacle in assimilating knowledge, and that goes away with the help of Nididhyasanam or Samadhi, etc. So that we accept it. So the third, the glorification which we have told, that is that's a main benefit of this our Samadhi, that we accept it. Fourth thing, Samadhi destroys all Punya Papam along with its root Ajnanam, right? That is what we have seen. That is not acceptable, because if Samadhi destroys all this thing along with the Ajnanam also, then Jnanam has no role to play. There should not be any Upanishad at all. There is no required at all. So in Veda there should not be any Upanishad. In Bhagavad Gita itself should not be there. Why? What for all? Bhagavad Gita is ultimately to remove that the sorrow of Arjuna. With the help of what? With the help of Samadhi or with the help of Jnana? Bhagavan has immediately started from verse 12 All Atma Jnanam he started. And therefore Jnanam removes his samsara, sorrow, etc. And here it says Samadhi destroys Ajnanam, and then born of Ajnanam, that is all karma, etc., punya, papa, etc. Well, that is not acceptable to us. If that is acceptable, then Jnanam will not have a role to play. So basically Jnanam destroys punya papam. Tatha vidvan punya pape vidhuya niranjanam paramam samyam upaiti. In Mundakopanishad very beautifully said. Tatha vidvan, this after gaining this knowledge, basically punya pape vidhuya, due to Atma Jnanam, this person becomes free from all punya papa. Niranjanam, he is free from any blemish now. Paramam samyam upaiti, he gains Brahma Bhava, etc. That is very beautifully said in Mundakopanishad. And we have seen also, Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat. Due to the Jnanagni, so due to the fire, in the fire of this knowledge, Atma Jnanam, sarva karmani bhasmasat. So we have heard all the karmas get destroyed in that Jnanagni. And the root also, that Ajnanam is destroyed by Jnanam, that is well-known thing. That we have not to say anything with regard to that. What is opposite to Ajnanam is Jnanam. And therefore Ajnanam, along with that the karma jatam, all this karma, etc., punya papa, sanchita, etc., get destroyed by Jnanam. That we have seen in the Upanishad as well as in the Bhagavad Gita and elsewhere. We have not heard that Samadhi destroys Ajnanam or for Jnanam, basically, I have told you yesterday also, for Jnanam, you require a means of knowledge. And Samadhi is something in which you resolve all the means of knowledge called mind and everything. And so there is a question of generating knowledge in Samadhi. There is no question of generating knowledge. It is it's like deep sleep state. So as you know very well that we don't acquire any new knowledge or something in deep sleep state, because all the means of knowledge available to the human being, they are all resolved. That is called Sushupti. And therefore, same way in Samadhi also, he consciously resolves. This is by default. Sushupti means in which all means of knowledge are resolved by default. That's a state of experience. Whereas in a Samadhi, the person consciously, through passing through all the stages of Ashtanga Yoga, etc., ultimately he resolves consciously all the means of knowledge. And therefore Samadhi is a state in which no new knowledge is generated. Then it cannot destroy ignorance also. If knowledge is generated, it will destroy ignorance. And therefore Samadhi cannot destroy ignorance. And therefore if cannot destroy ignorance, cause, then how the effect will go? Karma, etc. is effect. How it cannot go? And therefore all sanchitas also, which is born of Ajnanam, which is karyam, will not go unless the cause goes. And cause is ignorance. That goes by, when one gains jnana. And so Samadhi cannot, jnanam can do that job. In a waking state, one should acquire knowledge, and that jnana destroys ajnanam. Along with that kartrutvam, etc. also goes away, and all sanchitas also get burned. That is what Bhagavan also says, and even Upanishad also says. So this is how we, so our conclusion is Nididhyasanam removes Viparita Bhavana. That is, out of all the five, we have accepted one thing. That Nididhyasanam removes Vasana Jalam. Vasana means Viparita Bhavana, Viparya, etc. Dehatma Uddhi, etc. gets destroyed. That we accept. In fact, we are doing Nididhyasanam for removing that obstacle called Viparya, Viparita Bhavana, Dehatma Buddhi, all emotional issues which has percolated into the subconscious mind, which has formed a habit. It's a habit. I am taking myself as a body isn't just a habit. So even after listening to all these things, gaining knowledge in a conscious mind is not helping me. So means one has to sit down and relive the teaching, etc. Dwell upon the teaching, etc. How I am not this body. Consciously one has to do that. Then it will make you free from the habit of taking the body as a self, etc. And that is how Viparya, for that Nididhyasanam is required to remove these vasanas or Viparya. It is required, that is very correct. Okay, so that Nididhyasanam removes Viparita Bhavana, and that helps in what way? Okay, so during Shravanam, Mahavakyam gives Aparoksha Jnanam. Now please understand, this is a thing we have to be clear about. So Shravanam, we definitely do analysis. This is called Shravanam. Shravanam is not listening. Just Shravanam, we listen, of course, to teachers' words or what scripture says, Mahavakya, etc. But Shravanam is basically analysis of a Mahavakya. Because Mahavakya tells you are Brahman. So Mahavakya is generating Aparoksha Jnanam. Aparoksha Jnanam means it is telling you which is immediate to you, which is Aparoksham to you, that I is Brahman. That's what Mahavakya says. So Mahavakya generates Aparoksha Jnanam. We have to be very clear about this. But basically, an Aparoksha Jnanam means what? Somebody asks you, what is Aparoksha Jnanam? I am Brahman. That is Aparoksha Jnanam. That's what it is. That is what Mahavakya says also. And other than that, whatever Vakyas are there in Shastra does not give you Aparoksha Jnana. Very beautifully said in Pancadasi, which we are going to study later. In the 7th chapter, Vidyaranya himself says what? In verse number 69, even if you want to refer later, in chapter 7 of Pancadasi, verse number 69 very beautifully says, Avantarena Vakyena Paroksha Brahma Dihi Bhavet Sarvatra eva Mahavakya Vicharat Aparokshatihi. That's what it says. So, it says Avantarena Vakyena Paroksha Brahmadihi Bhavet. Well, Avantar Vakya. Avantar Vakyas are there in Upanishad, Avantar Vakya means which does not reveal the identity of Jiva and Brahman. Which reveals identity of Jiva and Brahman, those kind of Vakyas, well, we call Mahavakya. Other than that, like Brahman has been shown as a Jagat Karana, let's say. Something like that. That they describe the creation, etc. And then they say this Brahman is the cause of the creation, etc. Well, that kind of a Vakya which is not directly revealing the identity of an individual and Brahman, those kind of Vakyas are called Avantar Vakyas. And thus Avantar Vakyas Paroksha Brahmadihi Bhavet. Paroksha. That gives you a Paroksha Jnanam of Brahman, as Brahman as a Jagat Karan. So, well, okay, that is okay. But Aparoksha Jnanam means what? That Brahman is myself. That is Aparoksha Jnanam. So, Paroksha Brahmadihi. Brahmadihi means Jnanam. So, this is a Paroksha Jnanam. This Brahma Jnanam is which gives you knowledge of a Brahman as a Jagat Karanam, etc. And that kind of knowledge is generated by Avantar Vakya, Srushti Vakyas, etc. That is not. But Mahavakya does what? Mahavakya gives you Aparoksha Jnanam. And means Shravanam gives you Aparoksha Jnanam, because Shravanam is nothing but analysis of Mahavakya. And because you are listening to scriptures, or the Upanishad. And the Tatparya of the Upanishad is Mahavakya. That is the Tatparya. This has been established even in Brahma Sutra also. That the Tatparya of all the Upanishad, not one. Tatparya of all the Upanishad is one alone, Jiva Brahma Aikyam. And that is what. So basically, when you listen to Upanishad with the help of teacher, etc., so you are analyzing Mahavakya only. And that should give you Aparoksha Jnanam of Brahman. What is that Aparoksha Jnanam? I am Brahman should be generated. Now it is not generated. It is not generated. Everybody's experience. So then they say, well, then Mahavakya has given you Paroksha Jnana. It is Paroksha Jnana. Now, Swami, I know that I am Brahman, but I don't feel like that. So I have a Paroksha Jnanam of Brahman. They say, Atma is Brahman. Well, I have. So that Paroksha Jnanam basically cannot be. Mahavakya cannot give you Paroksha Jnanam. Mahavakya gives you a Paroksha Jnanam along with obstacles. So Mahavakya gives obstacle also? No. Mahavakya cannot give you obstacle. Obstacles are there, and this Mahavakya generates a Paroksha Jnana, but already obstacles are there in this Pramada. In this knower, there are several obstacles are there. We have discussed also. Intellectual issues are here and emotional issues are here. Both are there. And therefore, this Aparoksha Jnanam is along with obstacle, and we call it as a Paroksha Jnanam. When the Aparoksha Jnanam along with the obstacle is there in our intellect, in which I say, well, Shastra says I am Brahman, but I don't think so. Well, then there is a pratibandha. Pratibandha is there. So aparoksha jnana, this much we have to discuss. So Mahavakya gives aparoksha jnanam, that is not there. Beautifully, even Vidyaranya says, avantar vakyena parokshadihi bravet. Avantar vakya. So there is Srushti vakya, etc. Brahman is shown as Jagat Karan, etc. Well, that is paroksha jnana. That Brahman is Jagat Karan. That's okay. But basically, Mahavakya tells you are that Brahman. Jagat Karan, Brahman, you are that Brahman. So that is aparoksha jnanam only. Then you, aparoksha jnanam it generates. Then I should be able to tell that I am Brahman. Yeah, you should tell. No, but I don't think. Okay, then there are pratibandhas. So this is how it is. So Mahavakya generates sapratibandhaka aparoksha jnanam. Mahavakya generates aparoksha jnanam only. It tells you are Brahman and you understood also that way, but you are still not able to accept that I am Brahman. Means there are some pratibandhas in the mind, and that dehatma buddhi and other issues are there. Well, so sapratibandha aparoksha jnanam, you can call it as a figuratively if you want to call, well, paroksha jnana. Figuratively if you want to call it, you can call it. And this kind of a aparoksha jnanam which is having certain pratibandha also, well, that is not able to give me phalam. What is phalam? Mukti, moksha. So, well, I say I am not free. You say also, I am not free. And therefore, well, I am having a paroksha jnanam of Brahman. I don't have a aparoksha jnanam of Brahman. Aparoksha jnanam means I am Brahman, means I am free. I should be able to tell. No, sir, Mahavakya has given you aparoksha jnanam, but there are obstacles. Since the obstacles are there, that jnanam cannot give you jnana phalam. Therefore, you are not able to claim the freedom. That's what it is. Even though you are free, basically that's a fact. That you are Brahman, Shastra says, means it is using a present tense. That you are free. Right now, when you are just coming very fresh student. And so that fresh student, well, and he is listening a very first sentence of the Upanishad, of the Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasya idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyan jagat tena taktena bunjitaha magrudha kasya siddhanam. He has not gone to even the second mantra. The very first mantra is listening. And very first word, Isha. Oh, by Ishvara everything is pervaded, etc., etc. He is just listening. He has come for the first time, very fresh student. He is free. He is free actually. He is Brahman. And to that person, well, who is so fresh, Shastra says you are Brahman. That's Mahavakya. That is the Mahavakya. He says you are Brahman right now. You are free. Brahman means you are free, basically. So, so moksha is there for him. But, well, he will not accept. Even though he listens that you are Brahman, he says, well, I don't think, Swamiji, I am free. That moksha will happen in future. That I can accept. After study, etc., well, I will gain moksha. He says what? I will gain moksha. Shastra says you are moksha. He says he will gain. So when Shastra uses a present tense, he immediately tells it in a future tense. So that is called pratibandha. That pratibandha is not in Shastra or not in Acharya, please. So that pratibandha is in the knower. So that aparoksha jnanam is not able to give him freedom. Means there are some pratibandhas. And benefit of, well, definitely this jnanam is ultimately this. I mean, benefit of even nididhyasanam also is to make that knowledge which you have already, and doubtless knowledge through shravanam and mananam, make your knowledge free from pratibandha. That's all. And so sapratibandhaka jnanam should be converted to apratibandhaka jnanam, free from them. That is where the nididhyasanam role is there. Don't say nididhyasanam generates knowledge. No. Nididhyasanam only makes your knowledge free from pratibandha. That's all it is. And if you say, well, only nididhyasanam does this job, no. Mananam also does the same job. Mananam also doesn't generate knowledge. Nididhyasanam does not generate knowledge. Only Shravanam generates knowledge. What kind of a knowledge? Aparoksha jnana. What is aparoksha jnanam? I am Brahman. That kind of a knowledge it generates. But I am Brahman, well, I am not able to tell confidently because obstacles are there. There are certain intellectual obstacles which I have to go through mananam, make it free from any kind of doubts. And also afterwards there are other obstacles called dehatma buddhi, etc. So there is in subconscious mind, etc. I mean, there are habitual errors. Let's call that way. Habitual errors. Even to get angry in a certain situation is a habit, really. All our reactions are habit. Or to become sort of a greedy person, a greed arises in you and you are not able to control. To have a irsha also, jealousy, etc. It just comes out in a certain situation. When you hear somebody's glory and you feel that you can't stand that, etc., etc. I mean, all these are habitual error, basically. All emotional issues are habitual error. And of course, it has a basis to take the body, mind, sense complex as a oneself, and so taken as a atma, etc. So that also, they are also obstacles. So basically, mananam and nididhyasanam removes different types of obstacles. And the knowledge which has been generated in Shravanam, aparoksha jnanam, that I am Brahman, now is free from obstacles. That that kind of a knowledge which has become free from the obstacles, both the types of obstacles, emotional issues or intellectual issues, now is able to give you the fruit of that knowledge, jnana phalam, called moksha. So after nididhyasanam, person says, well, I am Brahman, I am free. There is no moksha in the future. Well, I am not a sadhaka, I am not a seeker, and there is something called moksha as a sadhyam, etc. He says, I am siddha. He says means he has not to take a mic and tell. I mean, he understands that what he wanted in life, that he is. He wanted peace in life. Well, I am a peace. I am security. I am happiness. I am full and complete. So, well, he says now that he should have told it at the Shravana Kala itself. At the time of Shravanam only. Well, that only has given you a paroksha jnana, but he was not able to tell because of the pratibandhas. So, mananam and nididhyasanam does not generate knowledge, removes pratibandha. So, this is how we have to understand. So, then Mahavakya becomes meaningful for that person. Could you follow now? So, Shravanam has given you knowledge, means Mahavakya should have been meaningful at that time itself. And you should be able to tell, well, I am free, but you are not able to tell. So, for you, Mahavakya was not meaningful. Now, once the obstacles are gone, now same knowledge has become free. Aparoksha jnanam, which has generated in you through Mahavakya in the Shravanam, well, now you are able to tell that, well, I am free. So, that is how the sapratibandhaka aparoksha jnanam. And if you want to say paroksha jnanam, etc. Even Pujya Swami did not accept paroksha jnanam. He used to tell it is Shraddha only. Well, we don't want to go into such discussion, but you should understand. Either you call sapratibandhaka aparoksha jnanam or you want to call paroksha jnanam. Swamiji, now I can tell I am having aparoksha jnanam because I am able to say that I am free. I am Brahman. But earlier I was not able to tell. So that was paroksha jnanam. Okay. But basically understand what is paroksha jnana. Vastu is aparoksham. Atma is aparoksham. It is immediate. It is in the form of I. Brahman is non-separate from I, or I is non-separate from Brahman. Even if you say thousands of times and whatever you do, you happen to be Brahman. No, you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. You are Brahman. So that's a fact of the life. And everything is Brahman, but everything is Brahman. But ultimately, and therefore, if you don't claim, well, that's due to just obstacles. And so you call it as a paroksha jnanam, etc. Even though vastu is aparoksham, atma is aparoksham, immediate. It is in the form of I, and I is immediate thing. But still you are saying that, I consider it as a paroksha jnanam. Then you should understand it as figuratively. Actually, it is a paroksha jnanam with the pratibandhas. Anyway, this is the clarification I wanted to give. And as I do nididhyasanam, same pratibandhas become less and less, and very Mahavakyam becomes more meaningful. And pratibandhas don't go in one day. If people are waiting for some kind of phenomena to occur, some kind of an incident happens, and all the pratibandhas just get resolved in a moment, certain moment. If you are thinking that way, well, that day will never come. Please understand that. It's a Pujya Swamiji's word, I am just quoting you. It's a growing clarity, and I am going to explain that part also. So, suppose a person does not have much obstacle and lead a very religious life, follow dharma, etc. And life of karma, upasana, etc. is there, then he doesn't require even nididhyasana, really. He does not require nididhyasanam also, because viparit bhavanas are not there. And so, Shravana Kale, at the time of Shravanam itself, well, he understands, yeah, I am Brahman. Because obstacles are not there, then what for nididhyasana? So, but Swamiji, he was having Dehatma Bhavana, correct. But since his mind is very much ready through karma, upasana, through religious life, etc., through dharma, etc., well, this person is able to knock off Dehatma Buddhi very easily during Shravanam itself. And so such person also does not require nididhyasana. This is just by the way. Let's go into now that verse 59, which verse 62, where we left. So vakyam apradibaddham bhavati, this knowledge becomes free from, mahavakya becomes apradibaddham, so free from obstacles. Means you now can understand the knowledge, aparoksha jnanam, which has been generated by the mahavakyam, it has become free from obstacles. Now what is told later, that part we have not seen in of that shloka. Prak paroksha avabhasite sati, aprak paroksha avabhasite. It is not sati saptami here, it is a vishay saptami. Prak paroksha avabhasita vishay. With regards to this prak paroksha, prak means what? Shravana kale. So, at the time of a shravanam, that is called prak, that atma tattvam which was revealed as a paroksha jnanam, for some person, well, as it were, it is not paroksham, you know, but because of obstacles only, or that is paroksham is equal to, we'll call it here as a sapratibandhaka paroksha jnanam. So at the time of shravanam, well, this atma which was revealed as, even though it is aparoksha, and aparoksha jnanam also has been there, but along with the pratibandha, that's how it called here as a, Vidyaranya uses the word paroksha. Paroksha avabhasitam. Paroksha avabhasitam means along with pratibandhas, it has been revealed to that person, as it were. So, and what happens then? Apratibaddham bhavati, well, due to nididhyasanam, this sapratibandhaka paroksha jnanam, well, all pratibandhas go away. So, after the nididhyasanam, that same mahavakya, which has generated aparoksha jnanam, has become free from all obstacles. So, as person dwells upon teaching, same mahavakya becomes free from pratibandha. So, obstacle does not come from the Shastra. Shastra gives aparoksha jnanam, along with that it gives some pratibandha also. No. It is not a pramana dosha, it is actually pramatru dosha. All the pratibandhas are doshas, are in the knower. And as I told you very well, because the ignorance is there, and based on ignorance he takes himself as a karta, bhokta, pramata, everything. He has a dehatma buddhi identified with the body, etc. And then definitely because of ignorance, all the doshas also, our emotional issues, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, also they are all there. And since ignorance, the cause itself is beginningless, all these doshas are also there, well rooted in a person, which we call these doshas or obstacles as a habitual errors. So once mahavakya becomes without this pratibandha, after the nididhyasanam, etc., then same mahavakya now as though gives the person aparoksha jnana. So if pratibandhas are not there, while dwelling upon the teaching itself, he is dwelling that I am Brahman, I am Asangam, I am Shuddha. This is all mahavakya. So basically, same mahavakya now is giving him knowledge, apratibandha jnanam. It means give you aparoksha jnanam as though. It has already given you aparoksha jnanam because of pratibandha, it was not looking aparoksham to you. It was not immediate to you. So you are not able to connect this Brahman with I. I is immediate, and I and Brahman are equated in mahavakya. But you are not able to do because of the pratibandhas. Now it has gone. So you say now I am Brahman, I am Asangam, I am Shuddha, etc. etc. And he gives an example. What kind of a clarity that person gains after Nididhyasanam? Well, he says, Kara amalakavat, just as the berry fruit is in the hand and how clearly you are able to see. So it is that much clear. They call it is as clear as daylight, etc. So anyway, so now he is able to tell, I am free, etc. Mahavakya alone has, produces sapratibandhak jnanam, and now after Nididhyasanam, it has produced apratibandhak jnanam. But understand, Mahavakya cannot give pratibandha. Pratibandha is already there, but yes, Mahavakya has generated a paroksha jnanam along with the pratibandha which were there in the pramata. So one more point we have to understand here. When we say, well, obstacles go away, then Mahavakya gives aparoksha jnanam now. So, well, and then jnanam becomes aparoksham or clear, etc. It does not mean that it is a process. It's a process, Nididhyasanam is a process in which definitely one day at a particular moment all the pratibandhas go away. It is nothing like that. So, clarity of this jnanam is not a momentary process. It gradually comes. So, otherwise we will always look for an event, we'll sit in Nididhyasanam, but we'll feel that one day all this Dehatma Buddhi and all emotional issues will be dropped. Such kind of an event, some kind of a moment will come, very precious and very beautiful moment will come, and all these things will be dropped. That will never happen. So it gradually comes, and they give an example of beautiful, they ask a question. Like somebody asks, when the day breaks. Somebody asks a question, when the day breaks. Well, can you tell that particular second, at that particular second in the morning that day breaks, etc.? Well, we can't say. Because as the sun rises, it becomes brighter. It's a gradual process. And same way, this also is a gradual process. In fact, we have seen, when we were studying in a college, etc., and gaining that kind of a knowledge, let's not talk about this knowledge. Even those knowledges which, material sciences or anything, the clarity grows slowly. Suppose you are learning a particular subject, physics or modern physics, or let's say atomic physics, etc., or a quantum physics. You are learning, very first day you gain crystal clarity. No, it grows. Even suppose you say after the class of a professor that I am clear. But you find that if you study again, you will find some more clarity. If you study again, you find some more clarity. That's how a person becomes a master ultimately. He is able to do some research also in the quantum physics, which was not the case very first day when he was exposed to the quantum physics. So clarity always, in knowledge also the clarity grows. And so even these obstacles, etc. goes as you do more and more Nididhyasanam. And definitely the knowledge, aparoksha jnana, which was there in your mind, which was generated from Shravanam and made free through the Mananam, that same aparoksha jnanam will now becomes aparoksham for you, as though becomes aparoksham for you. And you say, well, not Brahman is free or Atma is free. There is not, Atma is free. Yeah, if Atma is free, he has to initiate the Nididhyasanam. Atma is free, Swamiji. Atma is not free. You are free. When you are able to say that I am free, are you free? If suppose a teacher asks, are you free? Yeah. Okay. So Pujya Swami used to give an example of Polaroid, if you remember. As Polaroid camera, and so the things become clear as you move it. Same way. So, and not only that, our responses in our life also slowly changes. After first Nididhyasanam, person comes out, and now he doesnn't feel mana pamanayos tulyaha, tulya mitrari pakshayoho, etc. It is not going to happen. Slowly you will become free. Earlier a person speak a little bit here and there and you feel insult. Now slowly, after doing a lot of Nididhyasana, you still feel insult, but not to the degree earlier you were feeling. And still you continue Nididhyasana, you will feel that now it doesn't touch you. Person's words, person's gestures, or something like that. It doesn't make you bother about that at all. So you can say. So this is how emotional issues, etc., gradually goes. As your as you disidentified with the body, more and more you understand, more and more you create a space in terms of understanding that you are not the body. Well, during Nididhyasanam, that how I am not the body, because body has these 5 features, I am not this. Body has these 5 features, I am not this, and etc. etc. We have seen Anvaya Vyatireka also, we have done a lot. So, so basically, in waking state, body is also there, I am also there, Anvaya. Well, when I go to dream state, body is not there, I am there. That's Vyatireka. Oh, therefore I am not the body. Otherwise, if I am the body, I and the body should continue all the states, etc. etc. So, that way, after a long time, then the person says something, you feel that, well, to whom he is addressing in insult? Well, he is addressing to my mind, that you are a fool, etc. Or you are this, or you are not looking good, or whatever. Whatever the person does, that is, it does to Anatma only. It is not to me. Well, I shine in my own glory. In fact, everything shines in my glory. Everything is evident to me. I am self-evident, self-existent consciousness, etc., which is limitless, which covers everything. And so this is our responses in the life also gradually changes. Please understand, gradually changes. Nothing. People feel that by doing one time Nididhyasanam, I will be free from emotional issues. No, sir. It won't happen that way. Because of sheer habit. You can understand, it's all habit, and so it takes time. So gradual assimilation takes place. And now in afternoon we'll finish. Now we have just a little bit portion. And I invite some questions if you have pertaining to what we have studied, and if you have some few things in your mind for clarification, etc., well, definitely you can bring questions also, because I don't think more than 15-20 minutes it will take in the afternoon. So we will have a question answer session also in the afternoon. We'll see that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.